Measurement is evolving in so many ways. I think at the core of it is, business is evolving, PR is evolving. So measurement has to evolve with that. We're looking at multiple channels, we're looking at multiple data sources, and multiple ways to look at numbers and create insights from those numbers. It's not just about the measurement, it's about the insights and actions from that measurement. It's a different way for public relations practitioners to think, and I think that's where it's going.
Industry conferences in general, measurement is sometimes it's been discussed as something people feel like they have to talk about rather than they necessarily need to talk about it. But I think today you absolutely have to talk about it because there's so much data, so many ways of analysing it, and of course fundamentally the only way that public relations is able to prove its business case is by being able to measure its effectiveness. And I think what we've seen today is that there are more and more credible ways by which brands and agencies can measure the effectiveness of public relations.
I think the biggest challenge is that the technology is changing all the time. While we do focusing on traditional offline media engagement, but also at the same time we're doing a lot of things in online media as well. So the challenge is how we're going to split the resources in different areas to measure the impact and results.
To track public relations through to business results is still, I think, problematic. It's still hard to close that loop. There isn't one solution, there isn't one piece of software that does it. I think budgets are still an issue. I'm not entirely sure companies spend enough on measurement. And I think, as one of the speakers said, measurement sometimes looks backward a little bit too much rather than being used in a predictive manner.
What we're trying to do now is manage this revolution that's going on in the digital space, in the social media, and in some ways we're measuring our traditional space with the new metrics, and it's, there's a disjunct, and there always will be. So that's one of the biggest challenges.
The most important thing to measurement is that we have to set the targets at the beginning, and then for different channels we will use quantitative as well as qualitative impacts to measure, meaning that apart from dashboard and data analytics, that we will see what kind of impacts of our campaigns due to the for example social media channels, but also at the same time we will look for stories, how we change the purchase decision from our customers, or how we change people to actively engage with our brand. So we see it in qualitative and qualitative ways.
I think the focus needs to be on how do you have measurements in place that that tell you how it's intuitive, but to tell you how you're doing, to allow you to make fine adjustments, to fine tune. And to set new benchmarks and to assess how a particular objective has been met or not.
I think there's a huge opportunity if you can map the customer journey from awareness, where reputation clearly plays a huge role, through the stages of engagement through to a purchase, where obviously there's a very strong product message that needs to be there. If you can measure at each stage of that, then you've got a hope to be able to put it together and get a true impression of the value of the communications that you're doing and a return on the investment that you're making. I think absolutely spend the minimum amount of time as possible and money on looking in the rearview mirror, enough to create a benchmark, but no more, and spend everything else that you can do on understanding how the communications that you're currently doing, how they are working right now, how one channel is leading to another, so that you can optimize the campaigns that you're doing.